Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for inviting the Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Probably, if I'm saying I'm not qualified, but I'm very insufficient person. But such a thing as the association with the devotees, just practicing the Krishna consciousness and learning that to the how to do the devotional service and bhakti, everything. All our Siksha Gurus and all our senior Vaishnavas just get this opportunity. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Mataji. Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Welcome to the Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Nitya Gaurav Pramanandam, Hari Hari Bol. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Muran Gauranga ki jai. Hare Krishna. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. All the Prabhuji and Matajis. Once again, today we are going to see that new chapter, sixth chapter. The chapter, the name is the liberation of the Sārvabhauma. That's the one. So before that, we will do our worship to our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, to their mercy, to the classes for them. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Om Ajnana Timiram Dasya Nananjana Shalakaya Satguru Unnilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadadmayam Tadandi Sumpadandihum Vandegum Shri Gurum Shri Yuda Patakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raganatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vidamsha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Shashadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhasya Krupa Sindhupyevacha Paditanam Pavanyebhyo Vaishnayebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Saivam Narotamam Devi Saraswati Vimyasam Tado Jayat Mudirayat Mukam Karodi Vachalam Langam Langaite Girim Yakrupadam Aham Mande Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Shri Gurin Darinam. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So today we are seeing that one, the liberation of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. This first of all, we take this summary about the chapter. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakura is explaining about that is Amarda Prabhava Vasya. So this is the one I'm going to deliver this one. If anything, the mistakes or something of my words, anything, the mistakes happening, please forgive me and please bless me, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you so much. So here the Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji, before we saw the last chapter is the Sachi Gopal, that one. So after that, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the travel to the Jagannath temple. So in this, the Jagannath temple entered that one. So immediately fated to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That was there in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. He saw that one and he take him to his home. So meanwhile, and joined to the Gopinath Acharya and in the brother-in-law and the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya and meet the Mukunda Datta. The talk about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu acceptance as a sannyasi is the journey in the Jagannath Puri. This is the one is happening in the Jagannath Puri. So after that, hearing to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that one entering the fainting and is being the carried out is the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya house. So the people are all, everybody that in the area people there knowing that one. So one of the sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is there in the inside in the Jagannath temple is the painted. So this matter, everybody to get into all the devotees and the people are coming and to see to him that in the inside the temple. So the time of this Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, he saw that one when the seeing that in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an the ordinary person. So he is thinking is have that some power is there. So he telling because of his externally was the unconscious condition. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when see the Lord Jagannath, so is the fall down that one. So he's showing that in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya immediately. So he take it to his house. So on the way it's going on time, but nobody not there. Their associated Nityananda Prabhu and all other associates, they are coming the back end because of we saw that in the Sachi Gopal timing that in the last chapter when they are doing the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that time that the danda was broken because of the ecstasy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after that they are asking where is that the danda, that told when you are most ecstasy condition, so it's gone away from there. It's the broken two-way, like this is explaining. See, get a little bit hanger also. So that time the Nityananda Prabhu told, you can go front, we will follow to back. So that alonely went to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the temple, that one. So this is the things is happening. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when is the fall down in the front of the Lord, is the body and everything is the fully transcendental conditions. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is understood. So he is not an ordinary person. So in this way is the things are happening. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura is telling about the commented to the Bengali verses. The Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is given original name was Vasudeva. He is the son of the Mageshwara Vishara, the resident of the Vidyanagar. So originally the name of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is Vasudeva Bhaṭṭācārya. Is the birthplace that the Vidyanagara. These are these the things is. And the same thing when the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is the list of the branches of the Sri Chaitanya after the listing the devotee like Paramananda Puri and Sorum Damodar who can join the Lord in the Jagannath Puri. So this is there was that Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, one of the biggest branches of the tree of the Lord, and he is the sister husband also, Sri Gopinath Acharya. So such a way, very scholar person of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. About this one, the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining about that one. So when about this, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, about this history life, we can see here what is there given the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He was very talented. However, it's a learned and the explanation by heart. And when he later returned to the Navadip, is established of the school of the study of logic. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is established one of the school from that is of the study of logic. So in this way, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, so is the one very scholar, and we also is the impersonalist person. How do the changes it's happening to the association with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully we can read, we can see in this chapter, this one. So when this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is entered the temple, So immediately fainted. The Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya considered is the more important this devotee. So meantime, they are coming to the all this sannyasi, all the devotees were crowded that places. So when is the crowded? The behind there the Srila Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees to visit to the Jagannath temple. They came and see there, but they are not there in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Already the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is taken to his house. So is the anti house. So when this the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya take it from there, so he is arranging from his house from there in anti house, very nicely room and everything. So because he is the eternally he was the unconscious condition. So when you see that, so the news headed to the Lord Nityananda Prabhu and all the devotees. Again, they approached to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya house. So when they reached there, so Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is nicely received them to their associated everybody, and is given to the Mahaprasadam to the all the Vaishnavas and the there. So Chaitanya Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when they arranged the accommodation, is the anti house in the brother-in-law, that is in the Gopinath Acharya. So when the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the Krishna himself, that is understand in the Gopinath Acharya. But in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, his disciple could not accept it. Because when he was stayed in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can understand that one is the not ordinary person. He is the Krishna himself. He understand the Gopinath Acharya and their family. But the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya and many disciples, they could not accept it. So that actually the Gopinath Acharya was convenienced to him to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he is not understanding. Why? No? Because of the Gopinath Acharya is telling that one, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without being the favor for him, he provide the Sastri quotation also. The quotation from the revealed from the scriptures. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself in person. So in the statement given by the Gopinath Acharya, but Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya did not take that is the statement so very seriously. So hearing all the arguments, though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the one, they are thinking about it, how to you can understand it. So let it stay that one. The Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is there staying that in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees along with them. So one time the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees, when asked one thing, the discussion to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, both of them their discussion happening. That time the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is asked to him, you know that did you hear the Vedanta philosophy? Like this is asking. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was replied it. Yes, I can do hearing. So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted for this the proposal. So that 7 days continuously. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is explaining the Vedanta Sutra. So however, the Lord is just commonly, very silently sitting and hearing the Vedanta Sutras. Because of this silence, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya get a doubt. He is asking to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Bhattacharya is asked whether you understand the Vedanta philosophy. Like this is asking. That time the Lord is replied. What's it replied? Yes, Bhattacharya, I can understand your Vedanta philosophy very clearly, but I could not understand your explanations. Such a way the Lord is replied. So there was the discussion between the Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concerning to the authority in the Vedic scriptures and especially the Upanishadis and Vedanta Sutra. And this the Bhattacharya was actually the impersonate person. So, but the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the provided that the absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he provided that is the conceptions of the Mayavadi philosophy, the concerning the impersonal of absolute truth are incorrect. Such a way the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to explaining to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So on the time of the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is putting on one more request to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please explain the Atma Rama from the verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So at the time of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explaining the 18 different ways is there. So such a way the Lord is explaining every one of the items so far of the Atma Rama consented. So the Lord is explaining that in the word is the Atma used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. That is the first indicate. Second is the body. Third is the mind. Fourth is endeavor. Fifth is the conviction. Sixth is the intelligence. And seventh is the nature. So in this word of the Rama means enjoyer. So therefore, anyone who takes the pleasure of the cultivation of the knowledge of the 7 items is no Atma Rama. So the Lord is explained about the different kinds of Atma Ramas and the transcendental self. So far that in the word is the Munyaha. This they are Muni. This word, the who are the great thinkers are called, this is the name of the Munis. So sometimes the word is the Muni is also applied to the person who is the very grave and great sages and great athletes persons. The great mystics of the learned, the scholars called up the Munis. So same we can see in the Bhagavad Gita also explaining about the Krishna, the Brahma Buddha Prasannatma. So that is the verses is telling the 18.54. One who's the transcendently the situated at once they realize the supreme Brahman. So he never laminated or desires having anything. He is the equally disposed to every living entity. In that the state is attained the pure devotional service upon to me. So such a way that was explaining to the in the Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna. So such is the going on. This is the one of the first times is going on when we staying that in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya there at that time. So one time happening. So one of the another one the Lila, the one the first times that our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Guru, the Ishwarapuri, Ishwarapuri of the when the disappearance. So after that, there is the 2 disciples was there. That is the personal servant of the Ishwarapuri, one of the Kashivara and one the Govinda. So when the timing they're told in the Ishwarapuri, you go to the Puri and to serve to the Mahaprabhu. Such a way the both of the personal servant is sent to the Guru. So they came to the Puri and they served the Mahaprabhu to build hold on their Guru. But when the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya make one question, because the Govinda is the one of the disciple was the Govinda, is actually the Sudra. So he is asked to the Mahaprabhu, why this Guru was taken, the person is the very lower caste and is the personal servant. So Mahaprabhu is answered that one. The Supreme Lord is the completely anonymizes this mercy, does not take anyone the caste or greed or into the consideration. The service performed out of affection is the thousands of times better than that which is the performed out of senses of the duty. So remanences. So there's the same thing. One of the past times happening in the Mahabharatam also. The Krishna is joyfully take is the meal in the home of the Vidura. When there's the Vidura is the calling time, the Duryodhana was making lot of wife. When the Krishna is coming to there in the discussion, that time the arrangements was very nicely done by the Duryodhana, but that Krishna is not accepted. So he told I'm better to go with the Vidura home and I will stay there. So such a way the Krishna is given this the one of the example. So however here this my Guru, the personal servant in the Govinda. So the object of reverences. So therefore is the improper of me. So the accepting the service, because they both of them service to the his Guru, the Ishwarapuri. How to accepted this one? Because of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, this my Guru's order to serve to me. So I cannot ignore it because the spiritual master in order, I never to disobey that one. So what I do, so such a question was put in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking. So what I have to do in this situation, because it is my spiritual master's guru. That time the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya responded, the Lord is requested advised to saying. So one should never ignore the orders of the spiritual master. The scripture saying in this the supreme guiding the principle. Such a way the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya also is given that one. So we know the another one, the pastimes of the Lord curses of the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya in the son-in-law. So that we know that when the one time the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya to invited to the our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the come and stay after the Sadhurma Masa, 1 month can able to stay. That time the Lord refused to staying there, because the Lord saying that against the principle of the sannyasi should not stay there in the more days, long days. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya and the disciples, they are asking to again to the, can you reduce the days, because they are asking 30 days to stay 1 month. But Lord told I cannot able to stay there that much. After the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is asking at least 20 days can you able to stay here to our house. That time also Lord told not. Again to one more time is requested Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya at least 15 days can you able to stay. But Lord continuously refused it. And then the same time is the downing that days he was reduced. Finally, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya continues to press him to please accept it, at least my invitation. So Lord finally is agreed. I can go to the 5 days in the month. I can just stay there. So such a way that the Lord was asking to stay to 5 days. But it is very difficult to stay in there to the one places like this is told. But finally, the Lord is agreed to stay there. So that her wife, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya wife, is very, very happy to staying that way. That also we saw the many times about that in the past times. All our senior Vaishnavas, their discussion about the son-in-law was made the very criticized to our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when this Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya wife Madhya was making lot of vegetables and fruits and sweets and everything, making arrangements on the things. When I saw this son-in-law is criticizing the sannyasi was taken this much way, but this getting angry, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya take the stick and run away to beat him also. And after this, the news was heading to her wife. She is also felt very sorry because of the Madhya was very pure devotee of the Lord. This one that in the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she very upset her this incident also. So the taking then the next day what happened? The son-in-law was got the cholera. Some of the disease is affected. This one. So that time the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya told, because of you are criticized the Lord, that's why you are affected in this one, in this situation. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, no problem, just he is very nicely telling. He want to meet him, and he went to his house and he want to see that his son-in-law, and he saw that one is hugging at one. So he is explaining about it one. So you are the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, very scholar person. You are the son-in-law. Why you are making like this? So after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given the very valuable, very importance of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So given to him and chanted this one. You will be recovery like this. Is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given this to the son-in-law. This one. Very nicely accepted this, one of the pastimes there. So, and one more thing, the pastimes is as happening when the Bhaṭṭācārya, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya came in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is understand the real identity, who's the one that only saw that time their discussion happened. The Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is then recited 100 verses to the praises of the Lord Chaitanya. When this, because he was offended is the obeisance to the Lord. Because after this, the Gopinath, Acharya also, others also, they see the wonderful potency of the Lord Chaitanya of Mahaprabhu. So they become very, very joyful. Before that, when that Gopinath Acharya was told about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about he is the one, he is the Krishna avatar. But that time is not accepting because the impressment of the one. So same way, there's the another one of the pastimes is that there's the one day in the morning, the incident of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some of the prasadam from this in the Jagannath is offered. So that time the Chaitanya Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, so without the carrying the formality, the morning get up, he not the cleaning the teeth also. When the Bhaṭṭācārya when the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bring that on the Mahaprasadam, so immediately that Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, he partook the Mahaprasadam. This is another day. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the best way the worship, the meditate, the Lord advised to the chant. So after that, so the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya also, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So the day to day to the changing, and in the one of the day the Chaitanya in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya wanted to change to reading to the Nokupam verses. That time that because of he did not like to the word of the Mukti Pada, that in the Mahaprabhu, in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So he wanted the substitute of the word in the Bhakti Pada. But in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is not to change the reading Srimad Bhagavatam because of the Mukti Pada is indicated the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the Lord Krishna, having the become of the pure devotee. The Bhaṭṭācārya said that because of the meaning, I still performed the Bhakti Pada. So at this thing, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and others of the independents of the Jagannath Puri, they become very, very, very pleased. The Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, those that become the pure Vaishnava, and others that the learned scholar, they followed him. So such a way, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Lila, he was that got it, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So he is the Lord mercy, the kindness, he displayed the number of different divine forms to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, starting with the four-armed Narayana form is showed to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Then again the two-armed Krishna form also is holding with the flute and showed that finally that the six arms the form also showed to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So when the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya saw that the six arms the Lord as the brilliant as the millions of suns and fell down in the faint. So it is actually mentioned in the Chaitanya Bhagavatam 3.3 1.09. So this is the of the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was explained. He how become the devotee of to the Lord Chaitanya, because after that he is the eternal servant personally to the Lord Chaitanya. This one. So now we go to the next to this goes to the one when this is the about the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya things is. Now we go to the slokas. Verses. So everybody can review Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
It's true.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila. Madhya Lila 6, the liberation of the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Today we are going to see the 6.1 to 6.20 verses. So we know that one, as every time we are showing this one. So how the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the pastimes, Adi Lila is the 24 years and they remained at home. And the Shesha Lila is the 24 years after the ascending the sannyasa. And the sannyasa part, there is the making the two concern. One from the Madhya Lila, which is the 6 years the travel to all over the India from Puri to Bengal and the coming to the Vrindavana. And the Antya Lila is the last 18 years to remain at the Puri, and the 6 years that one the 6 years spent with the many devotees and established of the Prema Bhakti. The fact that in the last 12 years was the devoted to the relations, the pastimes of the Krishna is the separation. This is our Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the pastime is the lifestyle. The same way we can go here, how to do the part of this one. So this coming the A, B, C, D, such a way the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that traveled along with this one, the preview of the Sesha Lila, the one, and after to go to the second one, the making the Puri is the headquarters, and third the South India tours, the fourth is the Jagannath Radhayatra, and fifth is the visit the Vrindavana, and seventh is the teaching, last of the teaching of the Chaitanya. This is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the travel this one. So in this chapter, we can to consider the four person we can to do that one. 1 to 47, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya takes the Lord Chaitanya to his home. So 1 to 47, this is the verses going to see. And 48 to 66, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya arranged for the Lord stay there. And 67 to 117, so discussion between them, Sārvabhauma and Gopinath Acharya. This is the discussion. And 118 to 215, Lord Chaitanya, so convert to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya into the Vaishnava. This is the whole chapter going to the explaining about the chapter number 6. Now we go to the verse number 1, 6th chapter. Hare Krishna. So now the same as it is, my daughter Sadhika is the singing. Just I played that one. Hare Krishna.
Madhya Lila 6.1. Naumidam Gaura Chandramya Kutarka Karkashashayam Sārvabhaumam Sārvabhauma Bhakti Bhuma Namacharat.
So I offer my respectful obeisance unto Lord Gaurachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who converted the the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya to the reviser of all the bad logic into the great devotee. Second sloka.
6.2. Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So all glories to the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Third verses.
6.3. Avishe Lila Prabhu Jagannatha Mandire Jagannatha Dekhi Preme Ahila Astire.
In the ecstasy of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Adara Lala to the temple of Jagannatha. After the seeing the Lord Jagannatha, he's become a very restless due to of the love of Godhead. When you see the Lord in front of the Jagannatha, is restless. His love of God that much is the affection. So he is there fall downing there itself in the front of the Lord. That is the first verse is telling now.
6.4. Jagannatha Alikiti Chalila Adana Mandire Patila Preme Avishtahana.
The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there swiftly to embrace the Lord Jagannatha, but when he entered the temple, he was so overwhelmed with love of Godhead that he fainted to the floor. This is the one, how he is, actually he is not taken the Dandavat also. He just in front of the Lord, he is fainted in the floor, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
6.5. Devi Sārvabhauma Dhana Ke Kare Darashana Padi Chamari Te Teno Kaila Nevarna.
When the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell down, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya happened to see him. When the watchman threatened to beat the Lord, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya immediately forbidden him, because they don't know about this one. We are from the people are there who are staying, they doesn't know, because who the pure devotee, who that one know the knowledge, They only know what is the condition about that the person, how is the ecstasy and all the things. That's why this the Chaitanya in the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, he stopped to everybody to that all the people when they're surrounding that one. That is the 6 verses, they're explaining more that one.
6.6 Prabhuda Saundarya Ara Premira Vikara Veki Sārvabhauma Haila Vishmita Apara.
So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was very surprised to see the personal beauty of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as well as the transcendental and the transformation worth to his the body due to the love of Godhead. So only the devotee only know that one, what is the condition, how is this one, because other people, they not understand. If you see there, whenever going to the Tirupati Lord, Balaji also, then we see the whole lot of people, then the queue, the time, they are going to the very eagerly, Govinda, Govinda, they're telling their express, the name of the name, they're telling the front of the Lord. So that much the ecstasy is that is the pure devotees. So there also there the pilgrims is there where the people are going. They are making to the queue and they make arrangements such they are doing in the Tirupati also, for example. Hare Krishna. Now sound question.
Shani Chaitanya Nahi Bhogera Kala Haila Sārvabhauma Bane Kave Ubaya Chintila.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reminded the unconscious for a long time. Meanwhile, the time of offering the prasadam to Lord Jagannatha came, and the Bhaṭṭācārya tried to think of remedy. So when is the timing is often is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the fall down from here. So immediately that their activity of the Jagannath to the keeping the offering the prasadam. So this is the thinking about what to do in the next. In the way that Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya continue this one.
Vishyapadi Chadvara Prabhu Lila Vahana Kare Ani Pavitrastani Rakila Soyana.
While the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was unconscious, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, with the help of the watchman and some disciples, they carried him to his home and laid him down in a very sanctified room. So when the one of the, he know that one is not an ordinary person. So that one, he was immediately arranged, he took him to his house. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, and he is nicely arranged the room also from to Lord. 9th verse.
6.9 Shvasa Prashvasa Nahi Udara Spandana Dekhiya Chintita Haila Bhaṭṭācārya Ramana.
So examining the body of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Sārvabhauma saw that the abdomen was not moving and that he was not the breathing. Seeing is the condition. The Bhaṭṭācārya become very anxious. So he is getting to anxious. Why? What happened? Because everybody, when you are breathing, the belly also make the movements is there. So in the abdomen movement is there, but nothing is happening. In this condition, he saw that he is getting very nervous also in Bhaṭṭācārya.
6.10 Sukshma Tula Adi Dasa Agrite Dalila Isha Chala Yetula Dekhiraya Haila.
The Bhaṭṭācāryas that then took is the find the cotton swab and put is the before the Lord nostrils. When he saw that the cotton moved very slightly, so he became helpful. So he can understand when the putting and the nose in that one in this area put the cotton, so that is the breathing is then happening. So he get he is understand. Okay, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there in the transcendental mood like this. So 11th verses.
6.11 Vashi Bhaṭṭācārya Mane Karna Vichara E Krishna Mahapreme Rasa Vikara.
The sitting the beside of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thought this is the transcendental aesthetics, the transformation brought it about of love of Krishna. So that is the one I understand it. The Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, the 12th verse.
6.12 Sudipta Satvika Enamaya Pralaya Nitya Siddha Bhakti Se Sudipta Bhavahaya.
Upon seeing the sign of the Suddha Sadvika, the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya could immediately understand the transcendental ecstasy, the transformation in the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such a sign takes place of only in the bodies of eternally liberated devotees. So he understands that one is a very liberated devotees. That's one. In the purport is mentioning to the Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura is mentioning in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. They mention 8 kinds of transcendental transformation is there in the bodies, advanced devotees. So there are sometimes they checked the devotee. There are the two stage of the such a checking that technically knowing the Dubdaya and Jiva Lita. In the Dubjaya means the smoking stage of exhibited when only 1 or 2 transformation are slightly present and is the possible to the counsel them. So when more than 2 or 3 transcendental transformation are the manifest and it is the still possible the consult them. Although with the great difficulty that stage is called of the Jiva Lilita, it's the lighted. When the 4 or 5 symptoms are exhibited from, that is the meaning of tipta, that is the blessing. The stage has been reached. When the 5 or 6 or the all 8 symptoms of or the similarly manifested, the position is called udipta, that is the inflamed. So, and when that 8 symptoms are multiplied of the 1,000 times are all the visible at once, the devotee in the Suttavita, the instantly the inflamed stage, the Nitya Siddha Bhakta indicates that eternally liberated associated of the Lord. Such a devotee, they enjoy the company of the Lord for relationship like a servant, friend, parent, and a conjugal lover. So this is the condition. It was the explained. There's our Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. The explaining about it. The Bhakti Siddhanta Sindhu is the one. The explanation. Such a way is that our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the condition was like this. This is giving the purport by Srila Prabhupada. And verses the 30 is mentioned.
6.30 Adirudha bhavayata tandre evikara manushera dehe dekhi bhada chamatkara.
Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya considered that uncommon aesthetic symptoms of the Adirudha Bhava are appearing in the body. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is very wonderful. How are there the possible in the body of a human being? So is the thinking about one. The same that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, the Aditya Bhava or Aniruddha Mana Bhava. They explaining to them Ujjavala Nijamani. Sri Rupa Goswami is explaining about this of the Srila Rupa Goswami. The Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura quotas the Rupa Goswami as follows: the loving propensity of the Asharya is the devotee toward the Vishaya, the Lord, becomes the so ecstasy then that after the enjoying the company of the beloved, the devotee feels that is the enjoyment of insufficient. So at such a time, the lover sees the beloved in the different ways. Such a development of ecstasy is called Anuraga. So when the Anuraga reaches its highest limit, it becomes the perceivable in the body. It called up the Bhava. When the bodily symptoms are not very distant in, however, that emotional state is still the called up Anuraga. not the Bhava. When the Bhava, ecstasy, is the instant in the is the intrepidate, is called up the Mahabhava. The symptoms of Mahabhava are visible only the body's external associated with like the gopis. So when the gopis are, they all are the eternal to the servant of Lord, they know that the same the Bhava they having. So that's the one here the Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport. 14th verses.
6.14. Eta chinti Bhaṭṭācārya achanavasiya Nityanandadi simhadvari Lila shiya.
While the Bhaṭṭācārya was thinking is in this ways at home, all the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by the Nityananda Prabhu, approached in the Simha Dwara. I think everybody know that one. In the Jagannath Puri, there is the 4 entrances there. The first entrance was the name of this one, Simha Dwara. The most of the devotees, all the sages, they're entering this in this Dwara, in this entrance only. 15th verse.
Tadha sune loke kahe anyo niye baat eka sannyasi asi dekhi Jagannatha.
So there are the devotees, the people that talking about that medicated who had came to the Jagannath Puri and see the deity of Jagannath. Verse number 16.
6.16. Murchita haila cheta nana haya sarire Sārvabhauma lana gele apanara ghare.
The people said that is the sannyasi had the fallen unconscious upon seeing the deity of Lord Jagannath. Because the consciousness did not return, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya had taken him to his home. So they're explaining when the Nityananda Prabhu and the associate they came there, that time he is heard the news from that already Chaitanya Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya and take him to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's home. Number 17.
6.17. Shodhi sabe janila e Mahaprabhu rakarya ena kale aila taha Gopinathacārya.
So hearing this, the devotees could understand that they were the speaking of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just then the Gopinath Acharya arrived. Whenever the discussion, so they can the Nityananda Prabhu and all the associates, they can understand this is the the Mahaprabhu only. This the situation is happened. So they can understand that time. Number 18.
6.18. Yadiya Nivasi Visharade Rajamata Mahaprabhu Bhaktanath Prabhu Tattvanyata.
So Gopinath Acharya was as the resident of the Madhya, the son-in-law of the Varshadhara, that the devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He know that one the truly identified of his lordship. So when we saw that in the before, the Gopinath Acharya, it's identified. He is the lordship only. He was explained to the Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya.
6.19. Mukunda Sahita Pule Ache Parichaya Mukunda Dekhiya Danje Ahila Vishmaya.
The Gopinath Acharya had previously been acquainted with the Mukunda Datta, and when the Acharya saw him, the Jagannath Puri, he was very much astonished. Last verses, 20.
6.20. Mukunda Dana Hari Dekhi Kaila Namaskara Tenu Alikiya Bujhe Prabhu Rasamachara.
So the Mukunda Datta offered obeisance unto Gopinath Acharya upon the meeting him. Then their Acharya embraced the Mukunda Datta as inquired about the news of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when you are seeing that all the devotees and the one, we can supposed to be the embraced in each one. That is the very, very important from our showing our love. That's the one the Acharyas what we're doing. So when we are seeing that the devotees, we go on hugging them. It's the more embrace them, they will get that in the transcendental, we'll get the that vibration to for the pure devotees and the things. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Sri Vaishnavas. Vaishnava. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks for explaining or starting the explanation of the pastime of deliverance of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. This is very, very sweet pastime actually. This chapter is one of the longest chapters in Madhya Lila. We have 286 slokas, and we are going to hear in coming weeks how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has delivered the Mayavadi philosopher Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya into a great Vaishnava, great devotee. So we are going to hear this pastime in coming weeks. Very, very sweet pastime, and request. I think I'm sure that many of us, we already know this pastime, but when we repeatedly hear these pastimes, it will further increases our faith in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we can really appreciate our acharyas, and it increases our devotion. So I request everyone to be regularly attending these sessions, because this is only for our own purification. So one should not think that I know these pastimes, so no need to attend or no need to. So please encourage. I see so many senior devotees also not attending nowadays, but we can only request them. So I humbly request all the devotees to regularly attend this Chaitanya Charitamrita classes. It's only 1 hour, and Saturday morning it is convenient time for many of us. So thank you very much, Bhaktanath Prabhu, for nicely explaining this pastime.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So next week is your Shiksha Guru. We're going to continue from
eagerly we are waiting for him.
Shyam Sundar Lila Raj Prabhu.
Yeah.
We are also eagerly waiting to hear from. He's not only your Shiksha Guru, he's my Shiksha Guru also.
Almost 9 months.
Shiksha Guru for many of us in this forum. So we'll continue from verse 21. Shyam Sundar Prabhu, please take note of it. From verse 21 onwards, we'll continue next week. Hare Krishna, Shyam Sundar Lila Raj Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.